Hello, welcome back to our podcast. We have the pleasure of having Greg Gosshorn and his lovely wife, who may or may not be in camera, as he traverses the United States. Mr. Silman and Mr. Larkin and I welcome you heartily. Greg, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you do and how you do it, and thank you for joining us.
Oh, guys, such a pleasure to be back with you. We were joking. I was telling Rhonda here, it's appropriate to be on with the car guys on a 5-state, 10-hour drive, man. And it's so much fun being on before and talking about something that's our passion here, right? AI.
Hey, Greg, I don't mean to interrupt you, but there's plenty of car guys. We would appreciate if you would refer to us as the mentally unstable car guys. This way people know it's us.
The mentally, yeah, is that you guys?
Yeah,
we've been
pigeonholed.
We're going to put it on our business cards.
That's a good brand.
Yeah,
I like
it's on the website.
We've been forced into that role.
Well, a brand should be descriptive.
So tell us, Greg, what magical things you do, how you do them. We know it already.
So
you got
much.
AI hat, so let's roll.
It is, so there's a depth and a breadth to it. It's at the high level. We talk about being a trainer, a strategist, a coach, a consultant. But the crux is really embracing AI, right? I mean, you better hurry up if you're not in yet, right? So, and the challenge is this: the other guys aren't. Your competitors aren't, right? And there's a bunch of ways that they're gaining ground on you in the moment. So we work at a bunch of different levels, and everyone kind of has to start their journey, with what is it, right? At a 101, and we've got some stuff like that available. We could even share with the people here. I just bundled up a free course, 15 videos, 5 modules from what is AI to, producing multimedia content using it. And so that's really a great one. We love to see people embrace it, and not only in business, in life, right? I mean, that's the way that people start using it, right? You gotta put in the rep.
Well,
You can't be I tried it and it didn't work, 1 or 2, 3 times. You gotta think about how can AI help me with this today, right?
when you hear stories of young adults, 17 years old, building their own brand online and being extremely successful, utilizing all the AI, it's a wake-up call. And for people who poo-pooed the initial dial-up with AOL and listening to that we're now way past a whole nother generation, and now 2030 everyone's talking about already, and it's not far away. And the things that they're already predicting in the auto industry is, I was just reading an article, and by 2030 they say that close to 40% of the business could be subscription services, where it's so there's some really big shifts in the market in a lot of different places. The traditional car that everybody wanted to buy at 16 years old is kind of starting to slip away in certain places.
Gotcha. Enlighten me. What do you mean a subscription service? In what fashion?
It means that you don't buy the car, so you don't have to put a major down payment. You buy insurance on the car as you're driving it, so you don't have to have automobile insurance. And it's just more like you have a subscription. You use it when you need it. So in the
wow, that's a paradigm shift.
Well, that's what's going on in a lot of, and then with, Tesla and Waymo, they've launched tons of robo-taxis in cities. So the idea of having a car in the city is getting where places are starting to think about, we need to shut down the city and let people walk and ride bikes and do other things and allow people new ways to commute. And, you know, so that I used to call it slack tide, but we're not in slack tide now. The tide's going out. And if you're not on that, you're not doing anything, you're going to be out in the ocean with no land around really fast. So
we should have seen this
that's
coming.
the caveat.
We should have seen that coming when the paradigm shift changed. All four of us, I bet you had the same incredible impulse when you were 15 and a half. How soon can I get my license? How soon can I drive? It was beyond exciting. It was the center of our universe. You got kids that don't even want to have a license and don't even want to drive. So they're certainly not thinking about what kind of car they're going to own. And think about how preoccupied we were with that when we were 15, 16 years old.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I mean,
we're 10 minutes into this interview, and I've heard paradigms 2 times. Paradigms is 20 cents, just so you know.
I'm gonna be you with Bitcoin, which is a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
Talk to Trump about the crypto thing.
Excuse me. Oh, that just dropped, man. I've been studying that all day yesterday. And here's the deal: like, you could think you have a handle on something, and either a private sector company comes out with something that changes everything, or, you know, this week's little bomb was how the feds are now looking at controlling and almost non-regulating AI. So it is fascinating. So it's great just to get in and put it to use. So you don't have to be a waymo or anything. What you need to do is just figure out how it can help you, right? So good AI deployments aren't for the sake of AI. Good AI deployments are for the sake of solving a problem. It's some of that low-hanging fruit, obvious stuff that can, free our brains up for having the brilliant ideas, right?
Yep. Hey, by the way, Michael, I think Stephen King is from your neck of the woods, and I know he wrote Cujo. I believe this is a first for our podcast. I believe Gary Silman has been devoured by his own dog.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, that doodle poodle he's got. Yeah, Gary got swallowed.
Oh, boy.
So, Greg, we're in a nutshell, it sounds like what you're saying is not only do you have AI programs that make sense, but you help walk dealers or anybody else through what AI is so they don't feel uncomfortable. Would that be correct?
And you're 100% right, because first of all, you got to kind of understand it, and then you got to try it, and then, and probably, maybe that third step of the journey is where we actually, start engaging and finding good ways to put it work for you, right? Because there's a million solutions in the world, and the only one that matters is the one that works for you.
What is the name of your company, Greg?
So I got to get a better name talking about branding. Mappingyourmarketing.com/AI is the AI site. And as you can well imagine, we've got another division that does marketing that's a couple decades old. And we still do that, but gosh darn, we just love, the passion is in the AI space right now. So those guys can find that there. All kinds of things about the free trainings, all kinds of things about some of the offers, right? Chatbots, custom GPTs, a lot of them, we sort of think about solutions and niche solutions, and certainly every industry is its own niche, right?
So Greg, I'm sorry, I had a little puppy chewing on me again. So we're starting to build an audience. We've got dealers, we've got people watching, and today the auto salesperson is very, very valuable when they learn how to use social media. What do you recommend to these young men and women to learn more about how AI can help them market themselves on social media? What would you say to all of them right now?
Okay, sure. I mean, to unpack that, there's probably three elements to that, right? Social media, AI, and sales. And actually, AI can be uh, pretty tremendous in the sales side in a couple of ways. Uh, and if they're younger, they may not have all of the skills that veterans like yourselves do. So they could use AI in uh, objection handling. They could use AI in finding people. They could use AI in creating content, right? You could think about what the issues of their potential customers have and have AI create uh, post images, video ideas. So it depends where you're at. You know, social media is probably demonstrably on the front end of the sales cycle or the top of the funnel. So engaging content, you know, with a little hook, maybe a pain point. And if you don't know it, AI is really good for brainstorming with you. Does that make
Sure.
sense?
No, that makes tremendous sense because that was very. I mean, I've been learning and growing with AI, and boy, you when you're looking for content, you don't have to go far. You can go to Chat GPT, you can go to Google Gemini, and you can put in your thought, and then you can research it yourself and make sure that you're comfortable before you put it out to the public, and it gives you the credibility. And so you know
Oh,
you.
yeah. I
And,
want to
and,
jump in there. It's a very important part. AI plus human, right?
oh yeah,
It's very much in
you
the,
can't they're not replacing anybody because Mike and I laugh is like we look for the hand in the wrong place on the image, and there's usually a hand somewhere coming out of an awkward place, and so
yeah.
AI is a useful tool, but it still will never replace the human on the other end, learning and using the talents that it brings. And so so it's also the fear factor is that, you know, I mean, you got to touch it. You got to talk to it.
Hey, Greg, I got a
I said
question.
that in my first sentence. You got to put in the reps, right? So it's always AI for the front, or human in the front, right? AI is your helper, and then always pass through the human filter at that third step.
Cool.
Got a
Cool.
question for you. As far as business goes, what are you finding that's most effective for you helping out a company as far as your standard operating procedures or your process? Do you work with one AI tool and segues into another AI tool and segues into another AI tool? So what I call it is connecting the dots. What are your kind of sequence or first, second, and third that you can easily describe to somebody what you're doing?
Sure. Good question, man. Because, and I'm going to go back to what I said is, you know, we're not selling one solution. So we start of it is that we look at the business, right? So there's kind of discovery questions and an audit, you know, to find out what's repetitive, what are the pain points, and where we can help them. And we've got some tools where we can actually help them get an idea of their processes with our mapping software and with the assistance of AI. And then once we identify it, then we'll grab a tool and you know, we've talked about some of those great starting points. There's a whole library of them. Chat GPTs, the Claudes, the Geminis. I would say if we were going to pick a most common second step, it would be creating some customization. It could be like a custom GPT. If you were in Claude, it would be a project. But basically, you start getting that knowledge and need into an AI that's a little bit of a subset, right? So AI that knows the world is cool, but AI that knows your world is really where the magic happens, right? So you can upload, and I don't know what, kind of making stuff up in your space. If somebody was, looking for cars, you could put, all of your inventory or your nationwide access and into like a small database that the thing knows. So when you wanted to search, and then you could kind of co-match them or have the AI match them. And AI, the point is this. The point is that you're giving it a subset of stuff that AI is not looking at everything it was ever trained on. AI is looking at the constitutional knowledge of what you told it to look for. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Garbage in and garbage out.
So you're stacking it with what's important, right?
That's a good point. We were talking in a clubhouse room the other day about how these CRMs and these guys are pounding their chest going, I've got 1 million people in my CRM. Well, how many of those are bots? Half. How many of those are people in the graveyard? How many of those are first party as opposed to third party leads that are shared with your market, and first party leads that go right straight to your website? Those are the people that you want to filter out. So we were discussing, is there or can there be made a secure AI to go into a CRM and put those people into buckets so that you can follow up on the people who are really visiting your website and they're real people.
Right. That, boy, what a challenge. I mean, again, there's stuff to unpack here. Writing custom messaging, right? Having this movie.
You must have not paid the toll in West Virginia.
You can have it do research. You can even have it at a higher level. AI can help you, push people through the stages in your CRM. Because there's another thing where the rubber meets the road is like, how are these sales guys actually effectively utilizing that CRM tool, right?
Yep.
I think we're all in agreement that info is not as important as how you use the info and how you filter it.
Yeah, it's great. I'll tell you one that I do is a prime example here of using the AI, and I call it my, AI VA, right? My AI virtual assistant. So when I'm going to have a meeting with a lead, I wrote a custom AI tool, and I call it my Lead Intel Scout. And I can give it like a name and a company name. And maybe that's all. And it will find their websites. It'll find them on LinkedIn. It will look at what they're doing. It knows what I do. It can actually suggest a business connection possibilities. It can bring up like conversation starters, which is solid gold, right? That's all sort of like what a sales guy would do in prep for a meeting,
Right.
and the AI does it for him.
Nice.
Greg, it's the one time, as much as I'm an advocate for humans working in conjunction and not being lost with AI, it's the one time AI may have an advantage because so many people today have lost the art of communication. They don't know how to start a conversation.
Yeah, and it's valid. It's like they know that. Say somebody's looking me up, in a month. Hey, ask Greg how his podcast went with the car guys.
No, the mentally unstable car guys. Let's get the
mentally
terminology
unstable
right.
car guys. Yes, sir. That's a good opener. and the conversation starter. And this is the point, again, just for repeating myself, or more importantly, driving home the idea, is that this is something that is maybe documentable, duplicatable, delegatable, right? You know, take this instruction set on this name and company name and go do the work. That's a good use for AI.
Right, and it's a simple application, and people don't need to be afraid of these, utilizing these very, very simple applications, and AI is not a dirty word. And I think that's a great point that we want to keep on making. It's not replacing anybody, but it's making people smart, a hell of a lot more smarter and more efficient and useful. It's helped me tremendously with any of my marketing. When I need to put something out there and I need to help, I go right to Google Gemini, and it helps me with what, and you just type in or articulate what you want, and it helps you along the way. I mean, it's baby steps. I mean, there's plenty of things that when I sit and I watch Mike Larkin building all these different things, I gloss over, and we lost them. And
Continue on, sir.
Yeah, no, but I lost my train of thought when we lost him.
He was driving, so it's not impossible that he got thrown through.
He traveled through West Virginia, and he didn't pay his toll, so they probably shut him off.
I think the quote you might be looking for is one I use all the time, because it's from my hero and the most accomplished human being, in my opinion, that ever lived, Ben Franklin. When you're finished changing, you're finished. That if you're not evolving and using every tool while you continue to improve yourself, you're done. Listen, we've lost Greg, although we appreciate him being in. Probably be a good time to put a cap on this. Mr. Silman, Mr. Larkin, what a pleasure, as always, to speak with you. And we'll certainly get Greg back in to finish any thoughts he has in the future.
Have a good weekend, guys.
Have a good weekend, everybody.
We'll see you.